Yo, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent, and today we're going to be talking about the best early access games to purchase and play right now. And I understand the early access, right? Okay, so you're buying an incomplete game in hopes that one day it will be complete. But in my opinion, these are the games that are most likely to be the most complete, kind of a little bit. They're at least going to be really good experiences, and in my opinion, some of these games should be experienced as they're being developed. It just kind of feels good. While others, maybe it is still best to wait, but they're still very good experiences now compared to other early access titles. I think opinions are going to differ. I think you're going to tell me in the comments below, but either way, give this video a thumbs up, A for effort, right? In my opinion, I think these games are the best in their genres, okay? I try to pick from a wealth of games, and I've played them, I had fun with them, and I hope you do too. Let's get into the list. Alright, starting off the list, I have a game that might be a little bit debatable, and the game's called Onward. Okay, so this is a game that is very early access with a technology that is also kind of early in development itself. However, if you want on board this wave of this new age of technology, of ways of playing games, with virtual reality headsets and actually inside the game, well, I think an FPS would be a good game to try out, and this is the premier FPS apparently. Other developers and publishers, other players, everybody is really just on board with Onward. Onward seems to be the FPS that you want to play with VR, and I think it's probably one of the best games to really explore and demo virtual reality headsets with as well. So if there's any game, even though it's it's very far away from actually being gold state, and VR is still very new itself, I think Onward is the game to try out and see as it progresses and play it as it progresses. Even right now, if you just try it now, even though it's completely incomplete state, it is still an experience. Alright, next game is a game I've played a lot of, and I still feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, and it's called Besiege. Now, Besiege, I think, has been sort of metaphored as like a medieval Kerbal Space Program. It's kind of like that, okay? I think in ways it's not as complicated, it's really more kind of intuitive, and it's a little bit more simplistic, but at the same time, it's, that genre of game is, wow, dude, like, it's pretty fucking deep. It's not like riding a bike. Like, if you leave it for a little bit and come back, it's like a whole new world. It's crazy, dude. So Besiege, man, you just make medieval, like, weapons and stuff. You're gonna start out trying to make catapults and things, and even that is like some pretty fucking complex shit right there, man. I think some medieval engineers would tell you. But yeah, you just get these like little stages, and you have to complete the stages, the objectives, kill this many people, destroy this building, whatever, and you can do it however you want. And they even added like you can have flying machines if you want to. You can have you can really make like straight up like Gundams, dude. Gundam. It's pretty much your imagination is the limit, and I mean obviously you're going to be constrained by the engine, by the actual the physics of the game. It is a medieval game, but still, dude, trust me, you can do some crazy stuff in Besiege. And I would like to end off by saying that even though it's early access, there's still a worthwhile amount of content. Even when I first bought it, when it first came out, I feel like I got my money's worth. So absolutely now, get it. Alright, let's talk about a game called Rimworld. Now, this game is going to be just a little bit different from any other game that you've seen so far on the list, or will see on the list. So it's a civilization simulation game. It's very similar, or I guess it's completely inspired by Dwarf Fortress, actually. And this is a sci-fi colony simulation driven by intelligent AI storytellers. So there's actually like story, there's psychology, there's ecology, there's like diplomacy, there's interpersonal relationships, art, medicine, trade. There's like all sorts of different crazy stuff just with the characters, the peeps of the game. And then going into like the combat, gunplay, you got the melee, you have medicine, you have all this different stuff, different biomes, there's climates, and there's just a lot of complexity to this game. And I think overall the art style's pretty charming too. I mean, a little bit more than Dwarf Fortress's, text art. So yeah, I don't know. This is a game that maybe it could be very niche, but at the same time, it's pretty fucking popular and it's very unique. And I think it's worth trying, even though you maybe haven't liked previous civilization simulation games like Banished or something like that. This is a little bit more grand in scale and in concept. So try it out, guys. I think you'll be surprised. Yeah, coming to number 7, I'm going to put Ark Survival Evolved. And I know that a lot of people don't like this game because they sold DLC before releasing the game, because they are porting the game before releasing the game, because they're doing a whole lot of extra things versus just releasing the game. But I think some people would contest that. And by saying that, well, this is a very ambitious game. They kind of just need a little bit more money. So they created something. Okay, they created DLC so that they could get some money to finish the game. They actually gave us something when they needed something. I don't know, man. I'm not all about that. All I want to see is just the game, for its merits. Fuck morality, dude. All I know is that Ark Survival Evolved, while still being obviously early access and kind of buggy, maybe a lot buggy, and its optimization is great. Anyways, there's a lot to complain about Ark, but that's only because that's nitpicking, because actually the base idea, the novel concept, and the overall scope of the game is just tremendous. There's no other game like it. There's no other game that's going to compete with it for a long time. So even if you have some problems with Ark Survival Evolved, it's most likely only because you know how good it can be and probably will be. At number 6, I'm going to put a game called Rust. I think that this is the best multiplayer survival game out there. Now, Ark Survival Evolved, it's got its kind of like fantasy elements. It's like, crazy. It's out there. It's got giant dinosaurs and dragons and shit. I get it. Okay. Well, Rust is not like that. It doesn't have zombies. It doesn't have anything fantastic or, crazy, ridiculous like that. It's pretty fucking down to earth, man. So Rust is just a survival game. And in terms of early access survival games, it's literally the best. It just, it focuses on what it does best. It doesn't do anything crazy or ridiculous outside of that. And it's just trying to polish itself up better and better. And so for that, you're actually seeing really, really good reviews. It's very popular. And even without all the crazy gimmicks of other games, it's simply just performing. And so for that reason, I'm putting that on here. And now there's some other games I probably could have put on this list, like Subnautica, maybe even Slime Rancher, but I feel like those games, they're a little bit more theme parky, and I feel like you can experience those much, to a truer extent when they're fully released. But Rust, I think, is a game that you can jump into right now and have a very similar experience to when it fully releases. You understand how this list works? All right, cool. Now, in saying that, I will say the next game is a game that, of course, will be better with time. Most of these games will absolutely be better with time. And that's going to be a game called Scrap Mechanic. Now, it's a co-op game, so I really wanted to put this game because it's cooperative. There's not too many early access co-op games. Now, Scrap Mechanic is a creative game as well. You can actually just make all sorts of different kind of machines and stuff, man. You have your machinations, kind of work together with your co-op partner. You do some crazy stuff, man. But the game is just incredibly polished early on. I know there's some other very polished early access games, but I think this game looks really good. It plays very well. And even right now, even though it's early access, it's a creative game, so you can do so much with, so little, kind of, in a way. So yeah, only with time, it's going to get better, absolutely, but right now, I think this kind of breaks the rules just a little bit, because you can just have, such an imagination and explore this world with your imagination, with your, machines. It's pretty fun what kind of hijinks you can get into. So yeah, check it out, guys. All right, next on the list, we have a game called The Forest. Now, The Forest starts off with you in a plane, and then you crash. And then from there, you're looking for your son, I believe. And there's like, some cannibalistic humanoid monsters that are just trying to like fuck your shit up. So yeah. Anyway, so you gotta survive. There's I guess bacteria that you can actually get infected if you're dirty for too long. That's pretty cool. There's, your normal like thirst bars, but you also have like temperature, and you have your normal like survival hunger stuff, and things like that. That's pretty cool and all. But the forest with the monsters, dude, that's what really gets me, man. That's what gets me. I really like games with like zombies or monsters or something to actually fight against. That's not just normal survival. I like that extra little step. And the forest, absolutely. It plays great, looks great, and it has like that immersion that I really, really want. It has the scope and the feel that I want in a survival game. I'm in the thick of it, right? I'm in the forest. And then there's fucking monsters, dude. I like it, man. It's not just a forest, man. It's like an island, and you have rafts, and there's caves, and you go spelunking. It's pretty cool, dude. And you can all do this co-op. I think it's about time we talk about a game called Astroneer. I think a lot of you guys were waiting to see this on the list here. So Astroneer it's a game of aerospace industry and interplanetary exploration. And I think a lot of people are very hungry for that. Games like Osiris or, No Man's Sky, but, some other games are trying to deliver that experience in different ways. But I think Astroneer is the one that just, in a way, it just feels like it's probably going to work mechanically. Now, maybe the art style isn't for everybody, and I think it's fucking gorgeous. And I think a lot of people agree as well. But the game is very down to earth, I guess I could say, for what it's trying to do. Obviously, I mean, it's completely crazy and sci-fi. But I just really love the I guess kind of like the voxel destruction, the creation, the management that you have to do. I mean, this is a survival game, but it's really more of like a cooperative and creative game. So kind of similar to Scrap Mechanics in that way. But Scrap Mechanics is like on a farm field on a planet. Astroneer is literally in space, and you're doing a lot more ridiculous stuff. And of course, you're gonna have your own unique problems and creative solutions to those problems with this game as well. So yeah, I could see why it's absolutely blowing up, and I think it will stand the test of time. At number 2, I'm going to put Gang Beasts. And I think you can already see and attest, from all the different like Twitch players, or maybe you went to a party and somebody had this or something like that. This is just one of those party games that is just a staple. Already the game's not even out yet, and it is like the party game. I think I put it at like number 2 for my top 10 party games, which I recently released. Number 1 was Ultimate Chicken Horse, but dude, holy shit, Gang Beasts, dude. It's a silly physics game, okay? And there is a lot of randomness to it. It's very hard to control. I guess it's got a high skill. I don't know how to explain it, dude. Basically, it's random, and every game can feel different. And silly and fun. And of course, being early access, there's always going to be more stuff to it. But it's just, I just want to say a testament, man, to everybody streaming, doing videos on this, to everybody who has it already in their library playing the game. It's massively popular. You can see already that it is the staple party game. Yeah, I promise you, there's a reason for that. So yeah, go check it out if you haven't already. You're missing out, dude. Alright guys, so I know there's a lot of games that I could have put on this list, and I try to get one from every sort of genre, especially games that I really love myself personally, so this is my personal list by the way, but number one, I'm going to put H1Z1 King of the Kill, and that's for a few reasons. The number one reason why it's number one is I think that H1Z1 King of the Kill is just really hype right now, and being sort of like this massively multiplayer game where, you know, you're fighting like hundreds of people at any one time because it's a giant royale battle game, you really need that hype, that popularity, and, well, even though it's in early access, it's hype. The wave is right now, and you want to catch the wave, because I believe video games are more like events. They're not just a product, they're not just a service. You need to play with other players. It's more like an event, so you need to jump into the event. You need to get your ticket right now and play, because you might miss it. We don't know the future of H1Z1, and if we've seen from their other titles, you know, Daybreak Games, well, it's kind of debatable. There could be a game that comes out like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, but H1Z1, for the price and for the time being, for the foreseeable future, this is the Battle Royale game, and I really don't want you guys to miss out. So that's why I put it as number one. It's a fun game. Obviously, it lacks polish. It really does, and it depends on how you feel about the morality of Daybreak Games, but H1Z1 King of the Kill as a game, standalone, looking at it, it's the king of the hill. Alright guys, that's the end of the list. Thanks for watching, guys. And I just want to mention one thing. Remember that these games are early access. That means they're not finished, and to a degree they're going to lack some polish, and there might be some disbalances and lack a little bit of content. I do think that these games are probably the most complete in their genres, but also remember that since they are early access and incomplete, that you as a player, you have a little bit of push, you have a little bit of weight with your comments, with your reviews, how you play the game, and then how you actually explain that to developers is going to influence how future players play the game, and you yourself whenever you replay it. Yeah, so I do think these games have some replay factor to them, just a little bit, and I think these games are worth the while now and later. I'm sure you have your own thoughts and opinions. Let me know in the comments below. Hope you have fun, friends. My name's Skylent, and I'll see you in the next one.